And the Hake report will start soon. Oh, man. Pretty sure it's going, yeah. It is a 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And it is Friday the 1st of the month. The rent's due. Get your government cheese. 2025 AD. What's up, Preston? Don't read chat, kids and ladies. And let's see here. Let's see. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you, Albert. I'm live on Pilled. I'm live on Punchy.tv, Pilled.net, Punchy.tv, multiple platforms. The views expressed on the Hake report do not represent the views of Bond, of JLP, of Hake. I don't even represent myself. It's true. I'm wearing an old school Men's History Month t-shirt because it is Men's History Month. It's 9:02 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And we're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey Friday show for the Hake report. That's right. And you can join us. This is not a Hake photograph. It's a desktop. Great photography. Thank you, whoever made this thing. But we're going to be taking your calls. A beautiful White History Month took place. But it's Men's History Month now. And men, if men are history, we're all history. It's a fact, Jack. It's a serious fact. 1-888-775-3773. Shout out to the addict men, so-called addict men, and ex-addict men. I had a caller yesterday, a beautiful white man caller, who said that today marks such and such years since he got off Suboxone. Pardon me if I'm butchering the name, which is a drug to get off of a drug. And that drug to get off of the drug is worse than the drug, kind of, maybe, not sure. And so shout out to the addict, to use the term loosely, men. What a mess. Terrible. I will read your super chats. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/the Hake report. What's up, Dolphin Spirit? The Hakeem Jeffries report. Shout out. Hake is not short for Hakeem Jeffries, nor is Hake short for, that I know of, Hakenkreuz, which is to say hooked cross, which is the proper term, I guess, for the swastika, which I disavow, I guess, or disclaim at least, you know? The Indians, the the Hindu type people are all mad that the term swastika took over because the proper term was Hakenkreuz or whatever. Hooked cross. It's a German. Swastika is like a Hindu word or whatever word, I don't know. And so they're mad. And you know who's to blame for popularizing, perhaps? Or who partook in the popularizing, let's say, or spreading of the term swastika instead of Hakenkreuz? The New York Times. The failing New York Slimes. Fake news. Spreading fake news and making the Hindus mad. Because the Hindus are trying to disavow and disclaim Hitler. That's horrible. That's just a little side note. But I disclaim all of that, both the Hindus and the Nazis and whomever. Okay? Because what do I know? What's up, Coffee Talk with Sandra? I was on her show. Happy Men's History Month, Coffee Talk with Sandra. Yes, the ladies, too, can enjoy and appreciate, and they better if they know what's good for them. Yeah, ladies, who do catch Hake, by the way. And kids, too, who are not grown adult men, young boys, man-child, or man cub. That's from like Jungle Book, I guess. Disney. I don't know. Is that Rudyard Kipling? Did he say man cub? I don't know. Did Rudyard Kipling even do the Jungle Book? I think it was. I don't know history or literature. Okay? But it's for everybody to celebrate. Men's History Month. And the one that I put on this shirt from way back in the day, this is 2018, I think, design. Booker T. Washington. He seemed like a man. He worked. He was independent-minded. He was reasonable. And unmoved, like a tree planted by the water, unmoved by the world. That's a Christian song, maybe even a psalm or something. I shall not be moved. All right, so very cool. Let me see if this is making racket, if I'm talking. I might not be talking during this, so I'm turning on the ocean wave sounds from a little over a year ago. I'm live on BitChute, did you know? If you go to bitchute.com, you may see me live. If you go to bitchute.com/the Hake Report, I don't know if they've fixed the glitch where if you go to the person's channel page, you don't see them live. I see me live, but the other people don't. Make sure you do catch the Fallen State coming up with another man, a Chinese man. See, are you proud of me not saying China? I don't even know if he's Chinese, actually. Maybe he is. Steve Lee. Is he Bobby Lee's brother? Nice. And then, of course, after that, American Anchor Baby. So we're going to have fun, I think. Chill vibes. Oh, Lord, I'm talking, saying chill vibes at the beach on a nice, cloudy, overcast morning. I think it's morning. So no endorsement nor condemnation or opposition or whatever implied, okay? Take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. I don't know. There was a guy yesterday who said that, by the way, that Mike Tyson tweeted something and he dismissed a Reuters fact check saying that it wasn't. But I think Reuters happens to have the facts on their side in this case. Actually, FYI. So even take Reuters, of course, with a grain of salt. Don't necessarily go with the opposite of what Reuters says. Eli, shout out. But it's not even important, you know? Facts. I like to get the facts right, but it's more important, but truth is more important. Happy Hulk Hogan Day. That's right, it's Hulk Hogan Day in Florida. You Floridans, I call you Floridans. I know it's Floridians, but I prefer Floridans. And unfortunately, I cannot play manly Christian music like I used to in years past. I can, but I could, but I would have to, and Spotify is going to call me on it, and they're going to be like, oh, you're playing copyrighted music, and then I'll have to be checking my emails, and I don't like to check my emails. And then it's a big mess because I'll have to be like, I'm playing this to review the song. But I'm not necessarily playing it to review the song. It's for your enjoyment, or at least my enjoyment, as you guys scream in pain because you don't like the Christian music. It hurts your soul because it's so bad. Not because it's Christian, because there's no such thing as Christian music. All Christian musicians are liberals. All musicians are liberals. Shout out. No offense. But anyway, guys, whatever. I am a real American. Fight for what's right for every man. I heard it for the first time because I was not into wrestling. I was like, this is so fake. I'm not into that. It's a little bit entertaining. But I heard it for the first time, at least as I recall, Just last week, I played it for the people after at a place where I was after the passing of beautiful Hulk Hogan, a beautiful man, a beautiful soul. It's nice, nice. So, I think one man, AJ Gallardo, wrote this song. And is he a liberal? Anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Let me turn this up, guys. You guys! There we go. That's more like it. Sorry for the weak start. Oh, Lord, did I just mute it? Oh, did I? Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Let's do it over again. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So cool. Call in if you want or not.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. As I mentioned, I'm wearing my Men's History Month t-shirt. It's an old school version. It's much more readable and big. If you, the wording, that is. If you check it out on, I believe it's on jesseleepeterson.shop. If you scroll down to the apparel section or just type in Men's History, let's find out if it's there. Sure enough, it is available. Men's History Month t-shirt. And you can see, it's so much more legible here. But it has that picture of this man shouting. That's a picture of Booker T. Washington speaking. Photograph. With all these black men in caps and maybe some white men. At what was called, the Atlanta Compromise? They were the evil people, the lamos, the victim beggars, dismissed it after a while as the Atlanta Compromise. And so you can get yours in, I don't know, various things. Unisex soft style t-shirt. Most of the versions are 100% cotton. The heathers tend to have some polyester in them. Heathered, sort of a splotchy color. Nice thing, but nice. So get yours. Okay? jesseleepeterson.shop. And if you so please. Okay? Nice. I have a lot to cover, but I would like to get to a couple of calls here before too long. It's already been too long. We're at 15 minutes in. I barely finished the intro. Greg in New York. Oh, man, I just missed him. Ian in Oregon. Oh, Lord. Ian's not ready. He's having the show playing in the background, in the foreground. Ian, fix your phone. Alan in Michigan is ready, I think, usually. What's up, Alan? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Wow. First up.
Nice, indeed.
I'm not going to take a lot of time just to mention this idea that I caught from Jesse and about anger. And, it's funny, you can know about something, but then somebody says something and it even makes it pop into your mind even more.
Right.
Which is what Jesse does, because I'm listening to him. Oh yeah, that's right. He's right about that.
Yeah.
Or you know. So in any case, but this idea of obsession, I had mentioned one of the for White History Month, Elizabeth Dilling, and as in spite of the fact of the good work she did in exposing things, toward the end of her life, and I say this because I knew the lady who took care of her in her declining years.
Okay.
And she became obsessed with exposing the things in the Talmud and other things.
Common, isn't it?
Yeah, and she didn't take care of herself, didn't eat properly, and it was really a struggle for this lady to take care of her. But there are other instances of people, and I'm sure you know of many. And I want to put a disclaimer in here. You have callers like Mark, who I really like.
Yeah.
He is not obsessive. He knows about certain things.
Right.
And it comes up more frequently than other things. And if you want to say, if I point, a finger at him, I'll point to it myself, because lately my comments have been a lot about religion and the Talmud, and but you know what? I'm not obsessed by it.
Right.
I think I had mentioned, and it's probably several times, you probably heard it, the individual I knew called Max the Nazi, who was long past, and he was obsessed with disliking Jews.
Right.
I mean, really upset.
Yeah.
I mean,
obsessed.
Yeah, really, really angry. A lot of anger. And he would give me copies of the Jewish Press and Sentinel to read, and it was very informative. But again, you can't get obsessed by this. That's what a lot of people do. I remember, and this has nothing to do with politics or religion, but there was a fellow at work, he happened to be Hispanic, and he was always very angry. I got along with him very well.
Yeah.
But there's always an anger in him. And what happened was, after the plant had closed, we kind of still stayed in contact with some of the picnics that we have for past employees. And I heard that he had a tumor in his chest. And I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe that's why he was always so angry. He had this underlying problem that was causing him to be angry.
Oh.
But later on I thought, you know what? Maybe it's the other way around, where when you become angry and upset and obsessive, it develops into problems, physical problems.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Right. And because if you notice, some of these people, I now call out, I'm not being nasty or anything, but these feminists and these women that hate men, and a lot of politicians who have very bad attitude, will develop physical features. They'll age faster.
They'll what faster?
In many cases, age faster.
Age faster.
And especially amongst females, they get something called bass mouth. I don't know if you're familiar with that. If you know what a bass looks like, it's almost a permanent frown on their face.
Ooh.
And again, I'm just picking out somebody I've seen, Maxine Waters, for example. She has bass mouth.
Okay.
And again, this is the problem you can have where, and I've seen people and heard of people that have committed very heinous acts, and some cases, not all, they actually show it in their physiology.
Yeah.
They actually have, like I said, age faster. So I just wanted to point that out. A lot of your callers know about specific things, and I would never say anybody out there would be obsessive. So, just putting a disclaimer. What is that phrase I like to hear you say? I disavow.
Right.
I disavow. So that's it. I think that's about all I wanted to say. I didn't want to take up a lot of your time. Hopefully Mark will call in, and Eli, and, I haven't heard Maze for a long time. What happened to Maze? From Ohio, I think.
I don't know if she's going to boycott Men's History Month, but some of my other black viewers and friends, they noted that she boycotted White History Month. So I don't remember or know if she boycotts Men's History Month too.
Yeah. Isn't this month Men's History Month? I think
it is. Yeah,
it is. Well, happy Men's History Month.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's partly why I say that these gals, notwithstanding whatever truth that this lady may have told, Elizabeth, or facts really, Elizabeth Dilling, why they shouldn't, among the reasons why they shouldn't worry their pretty little heads, because it's not good for them. It's not even good for men, like you pointed out, to be obsessed with it. But it's so much worse for women.
Absolutely.
It's not their place. It's out of order. It's cringeworthy.
Yeah. Women are to be protected.
Yeah.
But when they reject this, of course, what happens is they, there's the Red Network. I have a copy of it.
Nice.
Yeah. In any case, thanks for, I can't think of anything else I want to include, so I'll let the others call in, and I'm just going to sit back and have some punchies, Si Senor is my favorite.
Cool.
Coffee, and enjoy the show.
Nice.
You draw me. I tell you what, you draw me in. Like yesterday, I had working out in the yard just as a last thing here.
Yeah.
And I was sweaty and hot and everything. I was tired. And I thought, I'm not going to call in today. You know what happens? You draw me in, and your people draw me in, and your callers draw me in. And so, I got to say something.
Nice.
So that's why I called in.
I appreciate it. And that was a great contribution. I knew immediately what you meant when you pointed out that obsession is a branch or a symptom, an example of anger.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to let it go.
Yeah.
You got to let it go.
Yeah, let every thought go. Nice,
well, that's all. Like I had, thanks for taking my call, and okay, that's it.
Appreciate you, man. Happy Men's History Month.
Okay. You too.
Bye. Ian, out of Oregon, I believe, is ready now. Ian, thank you for calling, man. Don't worry, you're an amateur caller. It's good to hear from you.
On the Hake news, not the fake news.
Hey, happy Men's History Month, man.
Happy Men's History Month. Right after White History Month, amazing.
Yeah.
I just caught a little bit of what you were saying about the swastika and the fake news.
Right.
Yeah, I just think it's so funny watching, for example, it obviously didn't work during the election, but the one thing that the liberals can't do is admit they're wrong, so they're still using that tactic.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten to the point where they're calling Sydney Sweeny a Nazi because of her ad.
Isn't she a liberal, feminist actress woman? Gen Z? Doesn't know anything about anything, probably?
Right. That's kind of my point, is like, it's so funny watching them attack each other now, calling each other Nazis.
Yeah.
And not like she even had anything to do with writing that ad, or she had nothing to do with that. She just wanted to make some money and look good on the camera. And I think it's kind of sad we're like all simping over her so hard that we even had to make that commercial. So there's two things wrong with that part. And then
you know who I simp for?
Yeah.
Pearl. Because Pearl said that Sydney Sweeny is mid, meaning she's mildly attractive, but come on. Anyway.
Who's Pearl?
Pearl Davis. She was on the Punchy TV and the Fallen State and other places.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm kidding about simping for her, but I tend to think that she's, as the ladies go, she's more sensible, at least at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we got grifters like Brian Tyler Cohen, also known as Bitcoin. He has the same acronym. He's like on the internet saying that MAGA or whatever is making it up, that we're making up that they're calling her a Nazi. Who's making that up? How can we make that up? We can't make it up out of nothing.
Right.
So there's just a lot of garbage going on, and it's just funny watching them just degrade in real time. That's all I had to say.
Right on, man. Interesting point. I don't know if I'm familiar with that name. Let's see.
Brian Tyler Cohen?
Tyler Cohen. Okay.
You got it, man. He's all over Snapchat, and he's on
a
YouTube.
Okay. Interesting.
He's like one of the biggest grifters, and I think the DNC was starting to like focus on him as like their kind of mouthpiece marketer since David Hogg didn't work out, but he's just as bad. And he was just on the Bill Maher show, and Bill Maher finally had to admit that the tariffs were working and not crashing the economy, and he's just sitting there putting around holding his thumbs. So
that's funny.
He doesn't debate. He goes on Piers Morgan all the time, says all the talking points. It's just, you got to catch up with this guy because it's a mess.
Not a Christian, perhaps. It's sort of a liberal.
Not.
Anyway,
Definitely
interesting. Well, thank you, sir.
Yep.
It's good to hear from you. Happy Men's History Month to you, Ian.
Happy Men's History Month. Catch up later. Peace out.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, Greg out of New York. I was trying to get to him as well. Greg, thank you for calling and holding, man. Calling back. How you doing?
Yeah, I had to go for a second anyways.
No worries.
Right.
It's better to hang up than to me come to you and not be there, and then I'm shouting, and then you can't come to the phone.
That's funny. That's exactly my thought. I'm like, I don't want to ruin Hake's show. I got to get out of here.
Nice. So what's up, man?
So I just wanted to talk to you about Men's History Month because I heard once somebody say, it might have been JLP, it might have been you, don't know, how a man might be in the fallen state, but he's still a something of God, a representation of God on earth or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you had any experience with whether a man's in the fallen state or not, like when you were younger maybe, or maybe you've seen an example of men who make their children do either work or something quote-unquote useless. Like, for example, I heard this one story my friend told me about. His grandpa would make him work in the farm and do regular work, but then also I also heard the story of another grandpa or father, I don't remember, who would make their kids like put bricks in order and then just have them turn the bricks all the other way, and like, you know, it might seem pointless, but they put the kids to work.
Interesting. You know, and those are fallen state men, you're saying?
I mean, they could be.
Yeah. Well,
they're not.
You and I probably agree that Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the not the alpha in terms of spirituality and politics. He's not like super based, right?
Right.
But he knows how to raise his son to be fit versus the son that he got versus, this is a famous meme, famous in my mind anyway, meme I'm showing on the screen. You may not be able to see it quite yet, but in a second you may, of Arnold riding a bike with his son, and his son has huge arms, like rivaling Hake's arms, or Hake's arms maybe rival his. Just a Chad with Chad hair. And then his other son, who stayed with his ex-wife, I guess, all sad. I mean, he's a good-looking son, but he's fat. Not that fat, but pretty fat. I'm trying to be gracious here. And that's another example. I mean, granted, working out is different from working a little bit, but that's another example. And you know what? Not just with raising sons. There's There are men who don't necessarily come to church with Jesse Lee Peterson over the decades. Okay, I've been coming for decades, and I've seen prior episodes and listened, and their wives come to church, but the men don't. But the wives agree with Jesse, and they agree about anger, and they agree about all this stuff. And even still, the men are simpler, closer to the truth, closer to what Jesse actually says, than the women. It's so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's another example of just men just having being sort of closer to God without even trying. And maybe part of that's because they're not trying. You know, the women can get on an ego
stuff to think about
trip
during Men's History Month.
Yeah. Even a week, man. And that's why it's another reason. I mean, you should respect all people. I was thinking you should respect men. And if you respect men, you'll also be decent to women, I think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That is
you know what?
example.
You know, like, my dad, I considered him a serious Christian. He didn't go to church much, at least when I was a little kid.
Right.
My mother took us to church, and I don't know if he was just working or what he was up to, but he didn't come to church much. But I never questioned that he was like serious about being Christian, because going to church doesn't make you a serious Christian, first of all. But I considered him like the example of a Christian, as opposed to my mother, which, yeah, she's, you know, doing her best and pushing Jesus Club and making us memorize Bible verses and learning us how to read, teaching us how to read and stuff like that. But naturally, he's more like hands off, let you learn on your own, don't have to say everything. Whereas my mother and many mothers tend to teach these morals and things that in some cases I suppose they're fine, and in others I don't know if they're necessary to bring up. So there's just something about men that a lot can just be left unsaid, and it's better off unsaid, perhaps.
Yeah, because I think certain things that you think to be said, that's just a thought. That's probably some evil spirit, you know, and men, I guess, naturally can, you know, not be, I don't know, persuaded to do that, or what's the word? Influenced.
Yeah.
To do that.
It's kind of like, don't do this, don't do that. You're given all these rules, whereas the men don't even tell you not to do something. I'm getting some background noise. You sound distracted, Greg.
Yeah,
it's good
sorry. I'm at work.
Cool, man. It's great hearing from you. Call me anytime, Greg.
All right. And then one last thing while I got you here.
Yes, sir.
Did you like that video I sent you?
I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I did post it. There's no cussing, right? It's clean. I could play it on the show.
No, it's 1,000% clean. And then I hope after you watch it, you'll you know, you told me last time, you said Alice Cooper sounds like a woman's name.
Yeah, even though I knew it wasn't, because I've picked up on I know that it's a musician.
I'm a little late on White History Month, but Alice Cooper's white, and then someone I forgot to bring up last time I talked to you was Weird Al Yankovic. He is also white. He's a Christian. Specifically doesn't curse in any of his music because he's a Christian.
Cool, man.
Well,
now, I didn't know that Weird Al, he's Jewish, right? But he's a Christian?
No, he's not Jewish. He's not Jewish.
What? All this time?
Not Jewish. Based.
Can I retweet the video? Yeah, I'll retweet it. Okay,
Go
cool.
ahead. But I'm telling you, man, Weird Al's another one that's really awesome.
Wow, who knew? He's the one who, he does knockoffs. That's so funny because...
And guess what? He does White and Nerdy. I just went to a concert and seen him. And when he played White and Nerdy during White History Month with all the white people in the audience, it felt illegal. It felt not real.
Right on. It's great. That's a great tip. Greg in New York. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was good talking to you.
All right. You as well. Bye.
Dilling.
Before I get back to the calls and the super chats and topics, Greg in New York, with whom I just hung up, reminded me of something. We were talking about how men don't necessarily say anything, whereas women do. And I brought up the example, I've brought up before, like, the example of mothers, Christian mothers, at least mine did, told us before we even knew what it was, don't be having sex out of wedlock, don't sleep together, blah, blah, blah. Because we saw this one movie at a Friends of the Family's house in which this guy, the white-haired comedian guy, I'm blanking on his name, Father of the Bride guy. This is before Father of the Bride came out. Not Dean Martin, whatever. I don't know. Steve Martin, I think. He was like sleeping in almost like a fetal position, I remember, at the foot of the bed, but near the end of it, where your feet go. And then the other gal was sleeping on the bed, and he's like, don't have, my mother afterwards or beforehand said, no sex out of wedlock. I didn't even know what it was, as she was saying. But I'm like, okay, that's stuck in my head. And I've told you guys before, I recounted that principle, that moral, if you will, to my friends. Sorry, kids, ladies, guardians, parents. Because my 4th grade or 2nd grade or whoever it was, probably 2nd grade, actually. Because this was going into 2nd grade that I saw this. Say, oh, you have to have sex to have kids. Sorry, kids, ladies, parents. And I'm like, no, you have to get married first. Implying that you get married first and then you have that and then you have kids. Which I didn't know, I didn't care, but whatever. And then my friends made fun of me. My classmates, right? I guess they're not my friends. Oh, James thinks that you get married and then you wait a while and then kids will come out. No, that's not what I said, but you misinterpreted what I said. That's why I disclaim everything that I say, because I may not speak clearly. You may not think clearly and you may misinterpret what I'm saying and all kinds of things like that. And so my dad didn't tell me that. My mother told us that. And we were all in the car, my dad driving, my mother in the passenger seat where the woman belongs, and preached that briefly to us kids, children. Well, it reminds me of Nancy Reagan. Didn't Nancy Reagan push just say no to drugs when I was a kid? Gen Xers, older millennials, just say no. Just say no. And I didn't even know what drugs were. I just knew to say no to them. But drugs are not a temptation to a 2nd grader. And there was a lady who walked in, an old lady who walked in, talked about drugs. And we're in 2nd grade, 7 years old. Are 7-year-olds getting into drugs? Or were they in the 80s? Is that 80s or 90s? 89? 88, 89? And then you grow up, and then some people, did that help with the kids? Did that help? Did that stop us? I remember we were trained don't drink beer, don't do drugs. But beer and drugs were not even a temptation because we were little kids. Did that really help? I don't know. It's sort of interesting because the younger generations, the younger millennials and Zoomers and all them are doing drugs like crazy. You should have heard some of the early Hake report in which I had my co-hosts. They're younger than me, but they're millennials. And they did all kinds of drugs. And these are like good kids. Granted, they're like light skin, mixed black and Latino. So they might not have been that good of kids. But they're like good kids or good, decent young men now. Not that young anymore. But it didn't really help. These women trying to clamp down, and you just make it worse. You're planting ideas. I don't know. I don't know if it makes it worse, but it's interesting. Women preaching their rules. Rules they learned. Trying to save. Reminds me of that other, no kids are good, Hake. You can say good guy and good kid. And it just doesn't mean that. Good guys. Oh, he's a good guy. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I started to say it reminds me of, I was watching the Jesse Lee Peterson show along with you guys today, and this brown girl, whatever that means, Indian or something, not white, was all pretending to be protective of, or in her mind maybe, being protective of other little 13-year-old girls. She's not 13 anymore, I don't think. Who are insecure about not being white and blonde-haired. Most whites aren't even blonde-haired, especially not now. Ridiculous. Trying to clamp down on this American Eagle ad that had that Sydney Sweeny young actress gal, mid. I don't like the term mid, but Pearl said it, so I can say it. Oh, man. And that brown gal was a beautiful gal on the outside. Mamas trying to impose on society because of their mess. What's up, Puntho King? Nice to see you over there on the Facebook crew. What is up? Let me make sure. See. Jim in Alaska, good morning. Happy Men's History Month to you. I'm reading the chat, doing the shout-outs. Oh, do I need to toggle the stream? What's up, Coffee Talk with Sandra over on Pilled again? Nice to see you. I'm going to toggle it. I don't know. That's some disruptions over on pilled.net. But that's all right. Hello, Yoda, Ivana, Steve, C, Mark. Mildly attractive snake pit chat tard. I don't like the term mid either, he says. I prefer mildly attractive. Yeah, because mildly attractive could be slightly repulsive. Pearl's a hater, says Ivana. Yeah, probably. But, there's a lot of these people who are actually really appreciative and paying attention, I think, to JLP's message. So that's cool. All right. The lines are filling up. There's another super chat from Angband Art, 3 coffees. Oh, no. What did I just do? Okay. Let's see if this pulls up. Hold on. Angband Art gave 3 coffees. I'll refresh as I read it. For the first day of MHM Men's History Month, I put forth the name Genghis Khan. Wow. Hey. Genghis Khan. Was he Asian? Mongolian? What was he? Pronounced Chinggis Khan. Chinggis Khan. Hopefully that's not a bad word. It feels bad. I didn't know. I always in my head pronounce it Genghis Khan, but it's I gotta check this. By his friends, maybe. Oh, really? So he's just are you making this up or is it true? Why did you throw in the maybe? You're throwing me off, Angband Art. That's funny. He grew up a slave after killing his brother-in-law. Wait a minute. Oh, so did he have okay. His brother-in-law, let me finish reading this thing. He grew up a slave after killing his brother-in-law. So as he was a child, right? Who was also about to become his stepdad and abused his authority in the family, according to young Genghis or Chinggis. Genghis, Ching. Is this a bad word, Angban? Are you like setting me up? And his brother. They snuck up on him with bows and arrows from front and back. That sounds dangerous, because what if you overshoot? Or shoot so fast and hard that it goes through him and into your brother. Anyway. Hey, I'm not Genghis Khan. Who am I to criticize? Isn't Genghis Khan a very powerful warrior? Wasn't he? They snuck up on him with bows and arrows front and back. Genghis from the rear. What, like I've colluded and ill-K somebody? He went on to lead armies under the rule of the local Khan, or king, K-A-H-N, or king, and eventually replaced him as king of all the Khans. King of kings, Genghis Khan. And spread his rule to a vast border. He conquered on horseback using illusion, wow, and survival methods to maintain great mobility as a huge force on the move, nomadic, leveling city after city, selling the survivors as slaves in distant lands, as all warring countries that were warring war, did until England and America abolished slavery. Was that ill? I don't know. That's one of those. That's not exactly the picture that I was thinking of, but I was thinking of a drawing. Oh, he was also known as, according to far left Google AI, he was also known as Chinggis. Chinggis. I feel so bad. I feel like that's a bad word. Why am I feeling like that's a bad word? Khan was the founder and first great Khan emperor of the Mongol Empire. Now, isn't that a biker gang too? The Mongols? Or Mongrels? Mongols, pretty sure. Which became the largest contiguous land empire in history. Well, I mean, that's not fair, because Asia is like the biggest continent, right? Whatever. He was born in 1160. I'm trying to diminish his accomplishments right here. Born in around 1162, died in 1227. Is this BC or AD? That's right. I'm so bad at history that I don't even know when Genghis Khan lived. That's real bad. Originally named Temujin, he unified the Mongol tribes, Mongolian, right, sort of, and established a powerful, disciplined military force, and then led his armies on extensive campaigns of conquest. Alpha! But because we whites did it peacefully, it's called colonizing. Not that I did, but I mean, we're getting recolonized by the colonized. Anyway, we have like the descendants to live to cry about it. He was smart. He sold them off and spread them out and killed a bunch of them. That's kind of why I hear the Muslims who did slavery, their slaves did not have descendants to complain and cry and pretend to be victims, because they castrated their slaves, I heard, more often than we did. Not that I ever did. Anyway, Genghis Khan spent his early years uniting various Mongol tribes through military force, oftentimes, and strategic alliances. Highly mobile and effective army, known for its discipline, organization, use of psychological warfare. Thank you, Angban Art. Any relation to Genghis Khan? Are you related? Or Chinggis? I don't know. I think I know why I feel like that's a bad word. Okay, anyway, moving on. China, Central Asia, Persia, Eastern Europe. He introduced a written script for Mongolian language, established a law code known as the Yasa, promoted trade and religious tolerance. Alpha. just like Trump is doing in our government. Did you hear that our greatest president, Trump? Thank you, Angban Art. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. How do you spell this? Let me just make sure. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, said, "You can promote your religion to your coworkers in a polite manner, not harassing." All right, in the government, even though you're supposed to work while you're at work, you can, you may have downtime or whatever. There's oftentimes time for a little bit of small talk. It should be within reason, okay? Sometimes people are trying to work. And so just let them know if you're trying to work. And, it's not bad to be like, I'm tired of talking, or I need to work, or whatever. FYI. But anyway, you can say your religion is right and theirs is wrong. Okay? Genghis Khan. Double G-I-S. Angban had spelled it with 2 S's and 1 G, right? And so I wonder who's right. Far left Google AI or Angban. But thank you, sir. Happy Men's History Month, and thank you for that's the first contribution, perhaps, on the Hake Report. And maybe the first period. Something like that. Okay, let's get back to calls. Hayden in Texas is on the line over here. Hayden, how you doing, man?
My brother Hake.
Hey.
No, I'm just playing. I'm not Nate Higgers from Chicago today.
Yeah. You're mocking your friend and my friend Ronnie in Ohio. That's funny. That's funny. Interesting. Shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I read an interesting comment in the chat yesterday. Someone asked, "Why does this show push Jews as white?" So you got some explaining to do, Hake.
I know, it's crazy. I don't know. It's just it's kind of they're white enough to be hated, and then also I like to have an antagonistic relationship with my audience because I like to converse with you guys, and so I'm partly trolling. Also, they are part white. They call themselves white when it's convenient and stuff like that, and also, I don't know, like blacks call them white sometimes because they think that Jesus is white, and not that Jesus was necessarily an Ashkenazi Jew necessarily. We don't know.
Right.
But whatever. It's half true and half trolling. They're not normal white, granted. But it's not like I'm pushing them as white. It's just that some of my callers don't know the difference. And for White History Month, people are going to honor there's people that I didn't know Kirk Douglas wasn't white necessarily. I didn't know that he was Jewish. I don't think. I think a lot of the Jew people, the Jew critic people, they know all too well who's Jewish and who's not. Sometimes they know people are Jewish who are not even Jewish. So I think they're more into it than us. And so we normies, I lump myself as part normie. We're triggering you without even meaning to. So anyway, not you personally, but others. So
yeah. I saw it as a funny comment, but you do know it's hard for the blacks in particular to tell the difference between a Jew and a white.
Yeah.
Did you know that for whatever reason, like whenever they see a Jew, they say, "You white people, enslaved us for this many years." It's just like they're not white.
Yep. And a lot of them say, "Don't call me white." There's a Jewish atheist, Fat Mike or whatever his name was. Fat something. from NoFX or something. He sang that song or screamed it. Don't call me white. And it's an anti-white song. And he doesn't like being called white because he's not, his ancestors didn't do what the whites did, but they actually, maybe they did what the whites are accused of doing. But that's a different story.
Right. Good for him for not wanting to be called white. We don't want to be called Jewish.
Right.
So, I mean, good for him for doing that, I guess,
I guess, yeah. Interesting mess.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about, I don't want to take up too much time, 3 potential topics.
Cool.
Number one, I can't believe, yesterday you said you didn't hear about the 2 CNN anchors saying the probably white thing about the shooter in Manhattan.
Was there a second person who said that besides Erin Burnett?
Yes, so it was that Erin chick, and then also she was she had this one law expert or whatever. I guess he's like a CNN contributor,
okay,
or whatever. And they both said that the shooter up in Manhattan was probably white, which that just blew up on social media.
Yeah, that's funny.
For them getting away with that, which I hope they don't.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah.
Cool, man.
I didn't know it. I was shocked that you hadn't heard about that.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big story in the media.
If it's not on CNN morning updates, there's a big chance that I may not have heard about it.
Oh, of course they wouldn't show that.
Yeah, exactly. What's funny is I feel like, speaking of false news reports, early news reports that turned out to be false, I thought that I heard somebody claim that the shooter in Manhattan, and that's the same story, right, killed a female police officer, but it turned out to be a male police officer. Did early?
Well, he killed like 5 or 6 people,
Yeah, including himself. I think he killed 4 plus himself.
He killed himself? I didn't know that.
Yeah, in the stairwell. That's what they're saying anyway. They surmise it to have been.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Manhattan.
Okay, that's news to me.
It was a female. I can't spell. Cop killed? Question mark. I'll ask Grok.
Yeah.
Not that Grok is that reliable. Grok is a liberal too, but early reports of the Manhattan shooting did not indicate that a female cop was killed. Okay. Yeah, it was a male cop, a guy named Didural Islam, 36-year-old male officer. Didural, nice American. I mean, Didarul, last name Islam.
Yeah, that's not very American.
Yeah, nice American name, but rest in peace. What a mess, huh? Tyler.
Yeah. It was shocking. I really can't believe he took his own life. That's great. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought the law enforcement got him.
No, sir. What a mess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the second thing I wanted to talk about really quick is how do you feel about these non-white, pro-white influencers that have like sort of blown up about their views on whites and I guess like far-right views and stuff. How do you feel like them speaking on behalf of the white people? Do you like it? Or would you be against it for like how much recognition they get in the media and stuff?
It does feel like people hide behind them sometimes. A lot of whites will more readily celebrate a non-white who's reasonable and pro and supports whites because it just feels safer. And so in that sense, I get why that happens, and it's because of the white guilt thing, because whites are scared. Right. Like, there's something about who is telling the truth, right? Or who is telling the facts that you will accept. Evil, lame, weak human nature will reject the truth from some, but accept the same truth from others. And And I think that is a flaw on the listener, evil human nature's part. Because,
right.
so I'm just saying that to explain why they get such notoriety. Many of the non-white, pro-white, far-right, if you will, people.
Right.
A lot of them don't strike me as genuine. Some of them do strike me as, I hate the term, but grifter-ish.
Yeah.
But that's their right. And actually, I don't know necessarily, because it's just a first impression, outside looking in, very casual observer, because I don't follow really anybody online, really, that
Right.
closely. So it is, I don't want to reject them or be too quick to accept them, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What do you say?
I agree with everything you just said. So you believe it's because the reason why so many people follow him is because it's just the times we're in now, and it's hard for like actual whites to speak up. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
Yeah, and yeah, yep. You know, it's kind of like I have seen the depth that men like JLP and that Trump, they have established themselves in my mind as having depth and having wisdom. And so
Right.
something that comes from them, I'm going to hear it more readily, even if I would normally disagree with it coming from anybody else. I'm going to pause and not reject it. In the weakness of my biased evil mind, I'm going to pause and more readily accept it than some other idiot saying something, or some other person
Right.
whom I don't know, or some other white saying something. So
Right.
that is happening to, I think, everybody, where you're accepting and rejecting rather than just taking in and letting go.
Yeah, I would agree with that, with all that.
Yeah. Whites are scared of agreeing with whites who are pro-white. Normal whites.
That is something, isn't it?
Yeah. And some of them are scared of even agreeing with JLP, who's pro-white. And JLP is genuine about it, you know. He has mind-opening, didn't even allow yourself to think, or didn't even think to think, statements sometimes for some people. Stuff that he says.
Yeah.
About spirituality stuff, about race and people, men and women. And also because he's old school, and old school people speak their mind. They're Americans. Old school Americans speak their mind.
Yeah, that's why these younger groups, that that I'm obviously a part of,
Yeah.
they consider him controversial and stuff, but he's just old school,
Right. Yeah, true. Yeah, he's not even trying to be controversial. He's not trying to be shocking or anything. He's just speaking it as he sees it. It's kind of like Mark. A lot of times Mark, although he does enjoy making people mad, he says, he also oftentimes is just speaking his mind as he sees it. And that's why I let him speak. And I don't necessarily reject what he says just because he's angry sometimes. Because a lot of the stuff, in your anger, you can say factual stuff. And so, nice. Right on.
Yeah. But by the way, he really did deserve being inducted to the White History Month Hall of Fame. He really did.
Yep.
I really didn't think about that because, I mean, people like himself and I heard even William, they were inducting well-known figures. But, I mean, people like Mark, he should definitely be inducted into the White History Month Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Black
Hands
and white,
down.
everybody loves hearing from him. Even guys whom you guys have condemned a bit, Ronnie in Ohio likes hearing from him for maybe ulterior motives, but still, I think it's like listening to Trump. People are entranced by a man speaking unabashedly.
Yeah.
How he sees the world.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I got one more question before the last topic's super short, but that Elijah caller, I love everything he has to say. You know, I think he's right on everything he says.
Oh yeah, Eli. Yep, Elijah from California. Yep.
From California. Is he white?
He is actually. He grew up among.
Okay.
He grew up kind of like I did, sort of nearby a bunch of Hispanics, so that may affect how his accent or something. Something about his voice sounds his Latino to me, but it's not.
I got you.
Yeah, but no, he's white.
Yeah, I didn't know.
According to him, which I believe it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, everything he says is completely spot on. He's a really great caller.
Yep.
The last thing I wanted to comment on, I saw the street interview thing with Jesse Lee Peterson.
Yeah.
Were you a part of that with Nick?
No, it was Nick and Derek, the black producer of the JLP show, who Derek was assisting in camera work and security and other stuff. So
Wow.
Nick, Derek, and JLP, and maybe somebody else, or two, I'm not sure. But yeah, that was Nick's handiwork.
That was an amazing episode.
You never know who else may be working security, FYI.
You never know.
Yeah.
JLP may have bodyguards we don't even know about.
Yeah. Angels.
No, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That episode was so amazing because it was so revealing.
Yeah.
About how these non-whites, in particular blacks, feel about white people.
Yep.
And that was a much needed episode. I saw you showed Michael Jackson start, the great white singer, the great white American singer.
Right. We're taking him. You know what?
Oh, he should be inducted to the White History Month Hall of Fame.
I agree, man. You know what?
While we're at it,
one of the black dudes, I don't know how serious he was, but he said there wouldn't be any Black History Month if it weren't for White History Month, and that's so true because
I did hear that.
He said that in those street interviews. Aside from the fact that many of the blacks didn't really have written language, also, like, they came into America, and all these blacks who did these accomplishments, they did it in a white world, using white inventions and things like that, and white society. So I claim not just Michael Jackson, but also, wasn't there another black whom I claimed for White History Month? There was like some other blacks during White History Month whom I claimed for White History Month. Because
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Because they went they did it in a white world, in white America, and nice. And whites accept and embrace some of the great achievements, and we appreciate stuff from other cultures. That's part of being white, I think, is that, or many whites do. We explore and we appreciate and we're open to other cultures, for better or for worse. Sometimes for better, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why, I mean, I didn't even think about that. The reason, we should induct Michael Jackson to the White History Month Hall of Fame. I mean, he completely turned himself white. His kids are white.
Yeah.
And, the non-whites weren't the biggest fans of him after he, made the transition to being a white man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he should definitely be in the White History Month Hall of Fame.
That's funny.
That's awesome. And I also saw
true.
JLP stood next to the Trump star.
Yes.
His star in Hollywood.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Totally.
Under that Trump flag too. That was amazing. That truly was an amazing episode.
It really was. I had been begging, and I'm not one to make it happen. Anchor Babe is a make it happen type of a guy. I've been begging JLP and the team to make a Man on the Street. Those are great. So they did it. I mean, I had stopped begging. I had forgotten about it. Because sometimes I think of it, I'm like, God, we got to do it. And Anchor Baby caught the bug and made it happen. Inspiration from the Lord. And you're so right. It was revealing. It was crazy.
Definitely, yeah. I meant to call JLP this morning and thank him for it. I'll probably do it Monday and thank him for doing that episode. But I mean, that really was one of the best videos he's ever done.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yep. Totally. Great.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Have a great weekend, Hake, and thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Men's History Month. Men making it happen. American Anchor Baby. A men's history hero. I'm laughing because it's true. I'm not laughing because it's silly. I'm laughing because it's true. Rebuildingtheman.substack.com. Did that go? No. Rebuildingtheman.substack.com. Let's see if this goes. No, thanks. You can check out the Silent Prayer. This is the Substack, and it has Jesse Lee Peterson street interviews.
You know that July is White History Month?
July is White History Month.
Yeah, did you know that?
I did not know that.
All right, happy White History Month, man. Fuck White History.
It's a good thing we uploaded the censored version. There is an uncensored and a censored version. And he said, "Boop, White History." What the? So there's a...
She doesn't like happening.
There's no such thing as white America.
She doesn't.
White Americans feel separate.
There's no such thing as white America. So if you go over here, guys, if you go over here, you can catch the YouTube censored version on Jesse Lee Peterson, or the uncensored on Rumble, X, BitChute, Pill.net, or also on audio podcast. I show you this one just because, whatever. Nice. It's available on the Jesse Lee Peterson JLP Highlights podcast. He said, "Forget white history." I would have censored it much more than that, but Anchor Baby's cool. Nice. Check it out. Oh, yeah. I had looked this up while that guy called in about obsession with criticizing and blaming and harping on the Jewish stuff. I think part of a lot of you guys some of you guys definitely obsessed with can't stop talking about the Jays or the Jews, is because partly I think it's because it's suppressed. Since it's suppressed, you're like, what? Why is it suppressed? It's the truth. I can definitely relate to that, because black on white crime is another thing that's suppressed information. The disproportion, even though it's right there, it's less suppressed than this, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. This is more, I suppose, more significant in terms of the direction of the country. But at least it seems that way. It seems like you guys are right in many of your facts. But it's just not, I mean, it is what it is, you know? And there's something deeper, too. When you learn a fact or a set of facts that are shocking, it's not good to be shocked, and it's not good to hold on to them. Because there's a spiritual truth and a spiritual lie that's bigger than even the Jews or whatever. And that's that thing about anger and oppression. The children of the devil is in you. The devil he made himself your daddy. Whatever. I don't know how to say it. Made you his son. He sunned you. SONNED, to use a black term, I think. I heard Derek say it, so I'm calling it black. He made you his son or daughter. With that anger and obsession. And you guys are not the only ones angry and obsessed, of course. There are the flat earthers, which there's an overlap. There are the boomers, or what are they obsessed with? All kinds of stuff. There are the, I don't know, everything. People are obsessed with some woman who is simps, or some man, or wanted the idea of getting with some woman or some man, or whatever, you know, anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Side note. So JLP, White History Month, Man-on-street. Okay, but quick super chat. Cesar or Caesar, sup, Hake? I wanted to commend David from Ocala, Florida, for getting off that evil drug. The Percocets or the Suboxone, maybe whichever. It takes certain strength and willpower to overcome that stuff. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, happy Men's History Month, David in Ocala, Florida. Something that is lacking today with most modern men. Yeah, indeed, man. I'm keeping it short today because I'm somewhat busy and missed most of your show today. I'll podcast JLP and the Hake Report later on. Thanks, man. Have an amazing weekend, Hake. Callers in the snake pit, the scum of the earth. We'll read your super chats later on the JLP show, Seesaw. The Blackie Chan shooter. Sorry. In Manhattan, shot himself in the chest with a rifle, allegedly. Kind of odd, he says. I mean, what else are you going to do with this rifle? You have a rifle. How are you going to... I don't know. Whew. Rough. That's a brutal fact, if true. Pardon me and Cesar or Caesar, faint of heart people. Thank you, man. Are you suggesting that it may not be true? I mean, we don't know, but I think that it's liable to be true. Thanks as always, Gregatron. Okay. Make sure you do catch... I don't know where to go. The Hake Report. Coming up, guys. Oh, you know what? I did promise something. Oh, what? How did that happen? Oh, I know what to do. So I'm going over the JLP notes from today. I must have put down bad notes, I guess. Trump did offer religious freedom for government workers to express themselves and to proselytize a little bit at the workplace, all right? As long as you're not being harassing about it. Yeah, drop it. If it is such wise advice I've heard not to give unsolicited advice. It's kind of like what the mother talking about, don't have sex out of wedlock, to like a little 6-year-old, or don't do drugs, to like a little 7-year-old. What? Does that have... I mean, that's not... I don't know if it's bad, but it's similar. It's like a little maybe crazy. A little like not at the right time, maybe. I don't know. Although I was the baby of the family, almost. Trump, religious freedom for government workers, men. And I liked that about this quote. Look at this quote real quick. Speaking of Men's History Month, did you know that back in the day, there was this fight over whether to say his or her? Because you just, in general, you spoke about his. Sometimes you would say her, but you're just speaking about a general person. Speaking in the theoretical. The Trump administration issued a memo this week declaring that federal agencies will allow workers to promote their religious beliefs to colleagues, display religious items, and pray at work, according to the guidance. Now, I sort of dread with Muslims and others, but whatever. Shout out. A federal worker may, quote, may engage in polite discussion why his, Men's History Month, his faith is correct, and why the non-adherent should rethink his religious beliefs. Wow. No female federal workers based. Or no female federal workers may engage, but his implies his or her. All right? So you don't have to be these women. Feminism. There is one caveat, provided such efforts are not harassing in nature. I guess that's why women are not allowed to profess. Because by nature, stop harassing me, woman. Funny. Trump, religious freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom of expression. Very nice. Okay, no, there was something I wanted to hit. Oh, the air marshals. This is sort of interesting. 1 L in air marshals, MARSHALS, to carry out the largest deportation operation in American history. That's interesting that they're calling it that. I know a lot of you guys have been pointing out and complaining and criticizing Trump, of all people, that the deportation numbers are low, and yet it's the largest deportation operation in American history. Interesting. The Trump administration has been tapping employees from other parts of the federal government, including U.S. Marshals Service, the FBI, and now the TSA's Federal Air Marshals Division, according to 2 sources familiar with the matter. Nosy Commie Nonsense Network and blabbing sources, anonymous sources, never to be trusted. According to a Men's History Month hero, my own personal hero, Bill O'Reilly, anonymous sources, they always have an agenda, and the person receiving this sourced information does not always know that agenda, FYI. Could be as simple as just ego, wanting to spread information. Gossip. These highly trained agents are taking ICE assignments, some willingly. Right on, air marshals who are willingly taking on ICE assignments. Others under intense pressure from supervisor, where they are serving sandwiches and acting as flight security guards. In response, the Air Marshal National Council sent a cease and desist letter to Homeland Security and the TSA. What? That accused the Trump administration of undermining security on commercial aircraft. Accusations. Interesting. Now, I don't want to take sides just instinctively, a knee-jerk reaction at siding with the Trump administration, even though I already did. But that's drama. There's always going to be some details to work out. Crazy. Commie Nonsense Network is remiss in mentioning that this was in Saudi Arabia right here. This fairground ride snaps in midair. Video showed the ride collapse. I saw it from Fox News. I saw it on Fox News on X. They posted it. Let me see if I can, because I'd rather find it. I don't know if I have time, but it's crazy. It's like spinning through the world, spinning, circus ride in Saudi Arabia, and then the arm. Okay, so it says this. Oops, that's not a. That wasn't a salute. All right. Anyway, but there's this wheel and this arm holding the wheel. I don't want to do the black power or anything. And this wheel is going, and then the wheel, and then the arm, and it goes, and the wheel goes. Imagine my fingers are people running into my arm. I'm swinging one arm down from the elbow that's pointed up, and it goes, and it hurt, 3 people critically injured. 23 people injured, but 3 critically, I heard, according to Fox News. Faux news. Do I dare just open this? Yeah, look at that. It's going to play it. I bet you it's going to play an ad, and I'm going to be so annoyed. Fairground. See, look at this. Leave me alone. Oh, no. Now I'm going to have to... hold on. Snaps. Injuring 23, state media reported. So, almost done in 11 seconds. What in the world? Well, look at this. Is this commercial entertaining? What?
Or to imagine when you listen.
Look at this. There's no even audio. Whoa! You know what? It's too horrifying, actually. I don't want to show it to you. But you caught a glimpse of the swing. Shall I show you a little bit more? Cover your eyes, kids. I'm going to try to pause it, though, before it hurts the people, because it... See it? Oh! Well, that was loud, too. Whoa, did a person fly out, or was that... I know. I let them down slowly, but they went hard. You guys want to see it uninterrupted? You sick people. I'm going to show it to you uninterrupted, but I might cover my eyes. Do as I do, kids. Ooh! Oh! Brutal. I'm one of those men, or young men, kids. I was a kid. I never liked gory stuff. I knew other kids whose dads liked and they watched these other children, 4th grade and younger and older, who liked blood and guts and gory movies. But I don't like seeing people get hurt. Terrible. Ooh, brutal. That was Saudi Arabia, but Commie Nonsense Network is remiss in here's the rest of it. Your screaming doesn't help, ladies. FYI. I mean, it does call attention to you, but anyway, it's like more disturbing. You're not helping. I don't know, maybe you are. Fairground ride snaps midair. Video shows the ride collapse, causing the carousel to smash into the other end of the pendulum before hitting the ground. At least 23 people were injured. Let me open it one more time, just to read the little bit of the article. But terrible, huh? Ooh. So don't trust that particular ride in Saudi Arabia, although maybe they'll build it back stronger. Why didn't you mention that it was in Saudi Arabia? I bet you they just forgot to write who, what, when, where, why. Put it somewhere. That's one of the basics, I think. I guess. I wonder if that stuff is going to start happening in America. Is it standard? Is it a lack of standards or what? Ooh. Are women running the show? I don't know. All right, so Saudi Arabia ride snapped. Let me get to calls. Mark in Los Angeles, California is on the line over here. Mark, thank you for calling and holding, man.
Yes, sir. Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you, sir. Same to you.
And thanks, sir. And I'd like to shout out to HADEN, Alan, and William III, the 3 best people out there. Well, I know there's others too, but
yeah.
What I wanted to talk about was Canada, France, and Great Britain have all recognized a Palestinian state.
Yeah. What do you think of
I
that?
don't take sides. You know, I'm not for the Jews on this. I'm not for the Arabs.
Right.
I'm against both of them. I don't like either side.
Yeah.
But for these countries, these white, quote-unquote, countries, to support Arabs only tells me one thing. The invaders in those countries, I'm talking about the Muslims, they are invaders. They've got influence now.
Yep.
So in those 3 countries, because they allowed these people to come in. Now, Trump, it hadn't gotten a lot of publicity. He put a travel ban on in his second term here on Muslim-predominant countries because so many live there. So this is a good thing. We won't turn into Canada anytime soon. But
I hope not.
When you think about it, you know, who's really more of a threat to American, Western, Christian, white civilization? Is it the Muslims or the Jews?
It's
a tough question.
It is.
And I have another question for you.
Okay.
If Jesus came back to earth today and you ask him, who do you hold responsible for your death, for your crucifixion, would he say the Romans or the Jews? That's a question for you.
Okay. He would say, I mean, of course, I think it would be the Jews, right? But
of course.
Yeah. And to answer your question, I think actually that is an interesting question because you can blame the Jews, because many of them are liberal and diversity-minded, for bringing in the Muslims in the first place. the Muslims, by raw numbers, they're a bigger threat. And also, honestly, the Jews are more reasonable and civilized per capita than the Muslims, but they are resented for their leading role, as Barbara Specter said, for bringing us into a diversity mode or whatever.
Right.
And so it's an interesting question, but I think that as you indicated, these Western once white countries like England and Canada and whichever other country France are recognizing a Palestinian state. I forget what my point was going to be, but they have let's say the pro-Israel corrupted America is going to be replaced eventually, I think, with an anti-Israel corrupted America. But still, it may be sort of Jewish, but it's also going to be others. And the current leadership, as evil as it is going to be replaced by even somebody worse. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right. So basically, what you're saying is the Muslims are more of a threat than the Jews are to white Christians, white Gentiles.
I do. Yep.
Okay. In a way, you're right. In a different way, the Jews are a threat. In a different way, they don't physically bomb us, kill us, and force us into their religion like the Muslims. But what they do,
they tempt us into their religion.
Pardon?
They tend to be atheists, and they tempt us into the atheist, degenerate, anti-Christian, anti-white religion.
Sure, absolutely. Now, I don't know if I heard this on your show or somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
After the Jews came to America, one of the ways they found to take power politically was to get different groups like homosexuals, Negroes, and other minorities, and say to them, "Look, we're for you. We want this for you."
Women.
And they organized these groups to hate white people.
Yeah.
In that respect, they're worse than Muslims.
Yeah.
As far as the Muslims are concerned, we can keep them out.
Yeah.
Although they're here now, they've anchored themselves here in the U.S., but their numbers are still relatively low thanks to Trump.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a hard question to answer. Both sides, neither side except Jesus. Both sides are antagonistic to the white majority. So I say let them fight it out, and may the worst man lose, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the question of what would Jesus say if he came to earth and he was asked who was responsible for the crucifixion,
right?
Did I hear you say you believe he would have said the Jews?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he would answer it like that, and the reason I think this is because both of these questions that you've posed, the threat to America question about these two groups of people who are not white, they're kind of anti-white and anti-Christian, and this who's to blame for Jesus' crucifixion, they're moot. They're sort of irrelevant in that our salvation doesn't depend on that.
Well, okay, that's true. However,
you
look at things, for example, prayer in school. We used to have Christian prayer in American schools.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Muslims who went to court to have that taken out.
Right.
Okay, we know who it was. Okay, how many wars have we fought for the Jews? We haven't fought any wars for the Muslims. We fought against them, but they don't control our government and force wars. They're evil in their own way, so I'm not going to defend them.
Yeah.
But the other group is evil in its own way, and again, neither group except Jesus.
Yeah.
So there's no future for them. But we as Christians and as white people, we should be fighting as hard as heck to keep these groups out. They're unassimilable minorities.
Yeah.
And,
interesting.
They neither are Christian. And in the case of the Muslims, they're not openly anti-Christian, although I think they really are.
Yeah, they're playing nice because of the minority. Taqiya or whatever. Taqida.
Well, yeah, but they didn't put Jesus up on the cross.
Right.
So there is a difference there. a fundamental difference. And one other thing before
Would
I forget.
they have had they been around? Because they weren't even really around. But
That's
it's
true.
irrelevant. But yeah.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah.
They weren't. I don't think
They're pretty
you're allowed
violent.
to practice Christian religion in these Muslim countries. I could be wrong.
Some
but
of
I
the
don't-
countries are better than others in terms of that.
And Africa, just last week, I don't know where exactly. It may have been Kenya or one of those African countries. They massacred a bunch of Christians, and that's a Muslim. So, also the thing I wanted to say, and I know White History Month is over, but you were talking about black people that could be in White History Hall of Fame. The only one that I can think of, and he's not a traditional conservative, but it would be Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, you've mentioned him, the Jamaican man who was for segregation. And what else?
He wanted him to go back to Africa.
Okay.
What we were hoping for in the 1920s was that there would have been a black Moses who would have led his people out of here and back to Africa. But you get guys like Ronnie, and I do respect Ronnie. I know I called him a name yesterday, but I do respect him in a way. I would like his answer to if him and his brethren think that white America is so racist, why don't you guys just pack up and move out? Just move on out of here, man. If you don't like it, if you hate whites, and it's pretty recognizable now that there is a war on whites, primarily by blacks, in this country. Why don't the ones who don't like it, pack up and get out? That's my question to Ronnie. I can imagine what he's going to say, but I'm not going to answer it for him. And finally, did you see this woman, councilwoman in Cincinnati, black woman, Parks is her last name? She said the beating that these whites took from these savages last weekend was justified. Yeah, that's what she said. It was a justified assault.
Oh.
Put it in those words. She said that the other groups, they were begging for it. I think her name was maybe Cynthia Parks. You could probably see her nasty face.
I wonder if
She's
I saw this on X.
Yes. I don't know her first name, but she's a black woman, city council lady from, not a lady, but city council person from Cincinnati. Cincinnati is another dead city, another black-dominated city run by DEI hires and totally unsafe to walk the streets. I've been through Cincinnati. At one time, it was like a southern city. Even though it's in Ohio, it was more, the culture of the city back in the 70s when I was there was more conservative, and you didn't even see colored people. I know they were around, of course, but I didn't see them when I went there. And Kentucky, on the other side of the river, that's a conservative white state. But I don't know if they're having they have problems in Louisville. A lot of race problems in Louisville, Kentucky. But a lot of these cities that we don't hear that much about, like Cincinnati and Louisville, the media doesn't want us to know how bad things are in these little cities. They can't hide it when they show New York or Chicago or Baltimore. They can't hide, the evil that's going on there, even though they try. Did you know that none of the mainstream media networks covered the Cincinnati beatings?
Really?
Yeah, the only ones that I saw it on were Newsmax and One American News.
Fox News.
And I don't watch the other networks, but if you may ask, well, how do you know? It's because those networks gave the breakdown of ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, and MSNBC on how much coverage they gave that beating.
Yeah.
Any coverage, it was like maybe 10 seconds.
Wow.
Basically, they want to hide the war on whites. I wonder if Ronnie would agree with that. I mean, he's supposed to be a sensible guy. You should ask him, hey, do you think they're covering up for black on white crime, Ronnie? If you're listening, Ronnie, please answer.
Yeah.
You could be Bald Man 54 and put your answer. I'd like to hear his answer to these questions. Why don't you pack up and get out if you hate white America? Well, he won't say that he hates us, but we know that he does. But my question is, why don't the people like him pack up and go? What do you think he'd say to that? I mean, what's he going to say? Well, we fought for the country. We were in war, so we have to stay. Well, we'll give you reparations if you leave and never come back. That's the Lincoln plan, to repatriate blacks back to Africa with enough money to get settled back there. But I guarantee it would fail. You know, there's never going to be another Kush if there was ever a first one. There'll never be another one or anything close to it. The Negroes who have gone back to Africa, Black Americans, they've almost all returned. Yeah, they had a special on that on an internet show that I watched. They interviewed several Negroes who had gone back to Africa, and they all want to come back here because they know it sucks over there. They don't have any culture. They don't know how to run a government. You know, this nonsense about Kush, I'm surprised you got taken in by that, but I don't want to go into that, but it's obvious that it could never have been. I don't even care if it's in the Bible. Ronnie said it's in the Bible. Well, they got the wrong people. You know, what happened to the Kush people? You know, it's Ethiopia and it's Somalia, and there's mass starvation, mass inbreeding. It's just a nightmare. It's a hell on earth. And if they were there for 1,000 years, they didn't leave anything. They didn't leave any remnants of any civilization.
Gotcha, man. I got to keep it moving, Mark. It's good hearing from you.
God bless you. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
That sounds good. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to try to plow through all of your calls, okay? I have a short amount of time, 2 minutes each we'll try for, which means more than that. Rick in Hampton, VA. What's up, Rick? How you doing, man?
What's going on, James? What's happening with you?
Just celebrating Men's History Month, sir.
Good, man. Well, last year White History Month was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like to wish the final day of my brothers, my white brothers and sisters, my Japheth brothers, a happy belated.
So we're descended from Japheth, according to Noah. Noah's sons.
To Noah three
tradition?
sons. The Europeans, the white race comes from Japheth.
Okay.
Blacks comes from Ham.
Okay.
And Arabs and Jews comes from Shem.
And Asians? Or Asians what? Asians are Japheth too?
Asians they partially Shemites too. So they come from and Japheth. And you have some Asians that can come from Ham too, because I've seen some dark Asians. I've seen some real light Asians, you know what I mean? So it's all come down to, Brother James, to intermingling, if you will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man, you know. And here's another thing too,
yes,
James.
Sir.
I just want to comment on Mark. He had a good question. Who would Jesus be more mad at, the Romans or the Jews? I say they both are equally responsible. It's just like if I hired you to murder somebody, I say, James, I give you $100,000 cash money if you bring this person right to the spot here. You already know I'm gonna kill him, but if you bring him here, you get in your car, you take off, and I shoot him and kill him. You just as equal. You might as well pull the trigger. We both are equally responsible. Even though I pulled the trigger, but you lured him there. If you would have never lured him there, he had been alive. So we both are equally responsible. I know in the court of law, if I'm a judge.
Yeah, in terms of that type of murder, I think that I think it's valid to say it was more the Jews, because the Romans didn't even really adhere to their religion thing. They didn't care.
Yeah, they just didn't care.
But Jesus,
the Jews told them to do.
But to correct the record, Jesus is not mad at all.
True that.
He was being crucified. He offered himself up for sacrifice, actually. And he said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do.
About that.
And he wasn't saying, Father, forgive the Romans.
Right. You know, you're right, James. I was just saying, in human nature. You know how we are.
Yeah.
We are some of the most wickedest, evilest people. I'm just saying, human nature.
And actually, doesn't the Bible, you're a minister, right? Doesn't the Bible say something about us if we do such and such, we are nailing him on the cross? Something to that effect?
We live ungodly lives. Because
something where we're nailing him all on the cross all over again, or something.
It's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
It's also in Romans. Now it's in Deuteronomy. God said, you owe me to do what's right.
Yeah.
For all what I've done for y'all. Y'all owe me to do. That's the least y'all can do.
And there's something where making his sacrifice in vain or making it meaningless or something. Not that it's meaningless for other people, but for yourself.
If we continue not accepting salvation, not living for Christ.
Something like that, yeah. Right on, Rick. You know what? I have to keep things moving. I have to keep things moving,
Oh,
man.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking my call, James. I'm trying to tune in for the church service Sunday. Love you guys, man. Y'all be safe, man, and do the right thing, man. What we got to do, we got to prevent this race war, man, because I'm still believing that these liberals, black and white, all these liberals are trying to get white Christians to fight black Christians, Hispanics fighting blacks fighting Asians. They just want total chaos. And we got to put the word out and let them know that Christ love them.
Nice.
Love them, Julio. So that's all for now, man. Love you guys. Thanks a lot for taking my call, James. God bless you, brother.
You too, Rick. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Nice. I got to get to Jermaine. Not Jermaine. Anthony in SoCal. Jermaine hung up or disconnected. Anthony in SoCal. Are you there, sir?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Sweet, man. Yeah, great call, Rick. Nice calls today, guys. I wasn't sure if you heard about the recent censorship they got going in the UK. Let me see. I forgot what it was. It was basically marketed to keep kids from going on porn sites. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I heard about. I don't know if it was the UK or where, Australia maybe, that banned under 16-year-olds even from going on YouTube, which is interesting because I don't think there's any schmornography on YouTube particularly. And then they make you sign in anyway. So I'm suspecting that one is more censorship of so-called right-wing content. But I don't know if I heard about this one in the UK.
Yeah, so it's anyone under 18, and basically they're restricted from accessing like independent reporting websites and those third-party news outlets that have been popping up recently. And specifically, what I've noticed and a few other people have noticed, I've spoken to recently, is that they're heavily censoring the migrant reporting, the migrant violence, the migrant crime. And dude, it is unbelievable, Hake. I mean, it's evil, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that.
Typical.
It's sad. And really, I'd really love to hear more about, because I'm new to the whole the Jew thing. Like I didn't know. You know, all I hear on your show is basically like this talk about Jews being like sinister, but I have yet to hear any like. And you said earlier on the show today, actually, that the callers are speaking facts about the Jews. I just don't know what those facts are. Like I grew up, my family grew up in the Middle East. We understand the Islamic threat,
right,
and the atheist mentality of the Jews.
Yeah,
not to say that they're a monolith, but I don't understand. I have yet to understand the sinister, like, hidden aspect of it. So, I mean, hopefully maybe Mark or Alan one of these days could elaborate on that, because I'm curious, or maybe you can. I don't know.
Okay, perhaps another day, man. The stuff that I'm talking about is known. It's like it's available, publicly known information that just isn't thought of in a certain way. It's thought of in that way. So, I think. But yeah, we'll talk on that. We'll talk on that sometime. I'm overtime, but hey, thank you, man.
Gotcha.
We'll talk again.
Gotcha. Thanks, Hake. Take care, man. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, of course. Wow. Elijah in California. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Hake?
Hey.
How's it going?
Going well.
I think I can elaborate for that last caller.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, well, did you know that a rabbi owns the biggest porn company in the world, Pornhub.
It's a rabbi?
That's yeah.
That's terrible.
Actually,
that's not probably Ben Shapiro's rabbi.
Well, I mean, he's no better. Well, they got the porn rabbis, they got the war rabbis, they got the immigration rabbis, and then there was another Jewish guy. He said that the reason why Jews do porn is to wreck the Christian culture. It's like, it sucks and we hate it. So they're able to. I'm just trying to elaborate for the other caller. They like they say, fellow whites, they blend in, but also subvert whites at the same time. So a lot of people can't differentiate between Ashkenazi Jews and regular Europeans because that's the way that's kind of part of their secret power, how they've been able to infiltrate over the decades and take over the country from within. That's why no one gets what they want from this country. You can vote all you want, and we never get the mass deportations because the Republicans love immigration too. They
money
get their wallets get fat.
Money and
like
being nice, so-called being nice or whatever, humane. I shake my head.
Yeah, it's a little bit past money. It's also population control. They bring in the undesirables to wreck Western civilization, kind of like what they did with the killer bees when they mixed African bees with the European bees, and they made killer bees in Brazil. And they just they ran rampant and killed off because the European bees are more of the producers. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
They produce more pollen. They're less aggressive to their counterparts, the African bees. And then also, Mike Tyson. Yeah, the Reuters is lying. I watched him make that tweet in real time. And then you can just go on Google Images. Hake,
yeah.
You want to pull it up?
Right
I sent
on,
you
man.
a few diamonds. But yeah, the callers, a couple callers shout me out and showed some love. So those guys are cool too. I like them and Mark's bass, even Ronnie.
Nice.
Even though we disagree, he's an entertaining caller.
Right. Those blacks. Thank you, Elijah. I have to run you off early here.
I know. I got the white boy speed round. You get the black callers like a whole hour.
I know. Discrimination, white guilt,
reverse racism,
black privilege, and white guilt. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye. Elijah gave a couple of diamonds, by the way. A few. Reuters is lying. Click on Google Images, boomer. And to put the Tyson tweet up on the screen as well. I'll have to do that another day, Elijah. There's a rap song called I'm Not White, I'm Jewish, he says. Wow. And a beautiful call from beautiful Maze from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. How you doing, Maze?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And also, your European History Month.
Yeah. It was what?
It was sorry.
It was sorry?
Very sorry. 'Cause all you talked about was black people.
But I inducted some blacks into the White Hall of Fame.
It had nothing to do with your history. Because if you take the history books, that's why. The one that was born a racist from the time he been on this earth, God gonna come back and get him. Because you see nature is taking over, and it doesn't have whose color it takes over. And also, I want you to look up.
I have to end in 20 seconds.
Okay, I want you to look up the Walmart incident that happened in Oklahoma the other day, where the black man saved a whole lot of white people for one that stabbing 11 people.
Oh.
Yeah, look it up and give that to March.
Thank you, Maze.
The ones he shout out to, the Wigger and
I gotta go. I gotta hang up.
Had
now.
a good one. Call you back later.
All right, sounds good. And Jermaine in Canada and the rest of the callers. I gotta get out of here. American Anchor Baby happening after the Fallen State. Bye. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Take care.